My name is Carlos Miguel Torres, and I will discuss Japanese Girl by Victoria C. Edanis. The painting portrays a serene and introspective woman dressed in a flowing blue kimono. Her figure is the central focus, softly illuminated against a deep, dark background. These contrasts draw attention to her delicate facial features and the graceful folds of her traditional attire. The use of gentle brushstrokes and a restrained color palette enhances the quiet, reflective mood of the artwork. Her posture and expression suggest a stillness and contemplation, evoking a moment of inner peace and thoughtfulness. At its core, the painting explores themes of cultural identity, introspection, and emotional depth. The kimono serves not only as a visual element, but also as a symbol of heritage and tradition, expressing a quiet pride in one's roots. The contemplative gaze of the woman encourages viewers to reflect on their own emotional and inner life, showing how personal experience and cultural background are intertwined. Rather than focusing on idealized beauty, the artist embraces vulnerability and authenticity, capturing the raw, honest emotion that defines true inner strength. The artwork challenges conventional portrayals by emphasizing emotional openness and the subtle power of self-awareness. Rendered in oil on canvas, the medium enhances the painting's expressive quality. The soft blending and rich texture of the oil point allow for smooth transition of light and shadow, adding depth and a tactile richness to the scene. This choice of medium helps the figure emerge naturally from the darkness, as if her thoughts and feelings are being gently revealed through the brushstrokes. The result is a deeply moving piece that celebrates the resilience, identity, and the beauty of genuine human emotion.
Go.
Next art is Tree Planting by Cesar Legaspi. The painting depicts thin elongated figures, their bodies stretch and vary as they engage in the quiet yet determined act of planting trees. Each figure appears exhausted, their movements is slow and heavy, yet purposeful. The overall color palette is soft and muted with tones that feels almost eerie. This suggests the atmosphere of struggle, exhaustion, and quiet endurance. Despite the tired expressions and bent postures of the figures, their actions convey a deep sense of persistence and quiet strength. The theme of the painting centers on the hardships of life and the resilience of the human spirit. The act of planting trees, often associated with beginnings and growth, contrast with the figures. Visible fatigue creating the powerful narrative about hope emerging from adversity. The imagery connects hard labor with the promise of renewal, suggesting that even the most difficult circumstances can give rise to transformation and healing. Through this, the painting becomes a metaphor for life's struggle and the quiet hope that something better can take root. Interpreting the work reveals a poignant message, which is pain and hardship are real, but they do not erase the possibility of growth. The painting doesn't shy away from showing suffering, but instead frames it as a part of larger, more hopeful process. The use of oil on canvas enhances the emotional impact of the scene. The medium allows for textured brushstrokes and layered colors that emphasizes both the physical strain of the figure and the somber atmosphere. The muted tones and strong expressive forms are rendered in a way that captures the dual feelings of despair and determination. This contrast between pain and hope is what makes the artwork deeply moving, reminding viewers that healing often begins in the most difficult places. Thank you.
The Quiapu Church in Manila is one of the most iconic religious landmarks in the Philippines after it was damaged by an earthquake. National artist Juan Acpil was tasked with redesigning it. His work is a great example of how architecture can honor traditional while also embracing modern ideas. The subject of this work is the renovation and transformation of the historic church into something more suited to the times, without losing its spirit and cultural roots. Nagpil used reinforced concrete, steel and stone, strong and modern materials that can make the church more durable. He raised the central dome, expand the building's layout, and redesigned the facade to make it look grander and more symmetrical. These changes weren't just for the looks, they also allowed more people to gather and made the space more functional. In terms of design elements, Nakpil used balance, symmetry, and proportion to give the church a clean and majestic feel. He respected the original Baroque style but simplified it, giving it more modern and Filipino character. His method focused on blending traditional religious architecture with new materials and construction techniques. The final result is a church that reflects faith, resilience, and progress, a true mix of heritage and innovation. Now let's look at The Lady in Maria Clara by Victoria Edades, the father of modern Philippine art. This painting represents a Filipina wearing the traditional Maria Clara dress, but instead of showing her as sweet and delicate like older artists often did, Edades painted her as a thoughtful, quiet, and real. The subject matter here is a more modern, honest view of Filipino identity, especially for women. Edades used oil on canvas for this work, but what makes it unique is his methods. He used bold, heavy brushstrokes and earthy, muted colors to move away, textures are rough, and light and shadow are dramatic, creating a deep emotional tone. He didn't try to make the woman perfect, he made her to feel the human and complex. The element of art here includes expressive lines, strong contrast, and natural tones that give the painting weight and realism. Edades believed art should reflect real life, even if it wasn't always beautiful. This painting challenged the public to see beauty and truth, not just in fantasy. It was a major shift that helped start modernism in Philippine art. I'm Precious at Garde. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pidlaoan. The FEU administration and science buildings show off what modern Philippine architecture can be. Designed by Pablo S. Antonio, a famous national artist, these buildings serve both as practical spaces for schoolwork and as strong symbols of progress and modern ideas. At their core, the buildings were created to help the university run smoothly, providing classrooms, offices, and labs for students and staff to work. They represent a new way of thinking about design. Antonio used ideas from the Art Deco movement, which is all about simple, clean shapes and geometric patterns. His design reflects both the needs of a busy school and a fresh, modern look. They also pay attention to the tropical climate of the Philippines by including features like large windows that let in a lot of light and designs that help with natural ventilation. Antonio was innovative with his choice of building materials and construction methods. He used modern materials such as reinforced concrete, steel, and glass to create strong and durable buildings that still look elegant. These materials allowed him to make structures with clear, bold lines and open spaces, making the buildings feel light and airy despite being very solid. The building details are carefully planned, so every part, like the windows, stairs, and decorative parts, has a purpose and adds to the overall look without being too fancy or overdone. The design of these buildings also show important ideas like balance and rhythm. The simple straight lines and repeating shapes give the buildings a feeling of order and stability. This clear and simple style makes it easy to see that nothing is extra. Every detail is there to serve a function. Even though the buildings have decorative elements typical of Art Deco, they don't feel cluttered. The design shows that good architecture can be both beautiful and useful. In short, the FU administration and science buildings are a great example of how modern design, smart use of materials, and clear artistic ideas can come together to create functional spaces. They not only support school activities by providing a good environment for learning and working, but they also stand out as examples of a unique blend of local traditions and modern styles. This lasting blend of function and art makes these buildings an important part of the Philippine architectural history. Next, the Defense of a Filipino Woman's Honor, painted by Fernando Amorsolo. Fernando Amorsolo's Defense of a Filipino Woman's Honor is a painting that shows a very important and emotional moment during the World War II. The picture tells the story of a Filipino man who steps in to protect a Filipina from a dangerous, unseen attacker believed to represent a Japanese soldier. The woman looks scared and vulnerable while the man shows courage and determination. This scene not only captures a moment of violence but also stands for honor, bravery, and the strength of the Filipino people during a difficult time in the history. Amorsolo used oil paints on a large canvas to create this work. This medium allowed him to mix bright and dark colors well. One of his special techniques is using natural light in a way that makes the figures glow, even in dark parts of the painting. His careful brushwork and contrast between light and shadow help make the story clear and powerful. These methods make the viewer feel the deep emotions of the scene and connect with the subject matter. The painting also shows how strong use of the basic elements and designs. Clear lines help form the figures and guide your eyes to the important parts of the painting. The bright colors and deep shadows create a noticeable contrast which adds drama to the scene. The textures in the painting, made by different brushstrokes, make it look very lifelike. The overall balance and movement in the composition make the picture look organized even though it shows a chaotic moment. All of these art elements work together to highlight the message of bravery and the hope that can come even in hard times. In summary, Defense of a Filipino Woman's Honor is not just a record of what happened. During the war, it is a moving piece of art that shows how Filipinos defended their honor. Through his painting, Amorsolo reminds viewers of the courage of the Filipino people and the importance of protecting one another, making it a lasting symbol of resilience and dignity. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Paul David Pedroso. Today, I'd like to share with you a beautiful piece of art by one of the most celebrated Filipino painters, Fernando Amorsolo. The artwork is titled Tree Planting, and it reflects not just the beauty of nature but also the value and the spirit of the Filipino people. In this painting, Amorsolo captures a group of individuals working together to plant trees. The scene is set in a bright sunlight rural landscape, something Amorsolo was famous for. His use of light, soft brushstrokes, and warm colors give the painting a peaceful and hopeful feeling. You can almost feel the heat of the sun and calmness of the countryside. But beyond the aesthetic beauty, tree planting carries a deeper meaning. It highlights the importance of unity, cooperation, and caring for the environment. The act of planting trees symbolizes growth, renewal, and the sense of responsibility to future generations. Amorsolo was known for portraying idealized rural life in the Philippines, and in this piece, it reminds us of the dignity in hard work and the strength of community. It's a timeless message, especially today when environmental conversation is more important than ever. Through tree planting, Fernando Amorsolo not only showcases his mastery in painting but also delivers a powerful reminder that the progress can be achieved when people work hand in hand with nature. That's all. Thank you.
Next,
I'll be sharing with you one of the most remarkable works of national artist Cesar Legazpi. His painting titled Gadgets. At first glance, gadgets may appear chaotic and mechanical, filled with sharp lines, fragmented shapes, and interlocking forms. But his complexity is exactly what makes the artwork powerful. Legazpi was a master of modernist art in the Philippines, and in Gadgets reflects the overwhelming and dehumanizing effect of industrialization. We see human-like forms intertwined with machines, faceless, stiff, and almost robotic. These figures seem trapped within gears and devices, symbolizing how people can become more cogs in the machinery of modern life. The muted colors and metallic tones further emphasize a cold, lifeless environment. Legazpi was known for his social realism through gadgets. He comments on how technology and rapid urbanization can strip away our humanity. He invites us to question in our pursuits of progress. Are we losing touch with our souls? This painting is not just a visual experience, it's a statement. It forces us to reflect on our relationship with technology and how we must fight to retain our identity and compassion in an increasingly mechanical world. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Justin Albutra and today I will be briefly interpreting the First Mass at Limasawa by Carlos Botong Francisco. This painting shows the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines, held in 1521. At the center, a priest leads the ceremony while Spanish explorers kneel in prayer, showing their deep faith. On the side, we see curious native Filipinos witnessing the event, symbolizing the start of cultural and religious exchange. Francisco uses vibrant colors and dramatic poses to capture the solemnity of the moment and historical meeting of two worlds, Spanish colonizers and Filipino natives. In summary, this artwork is more than just a religious scene. It reflects the beginning of Christianity in the Philippines and the lasting impact of colonization on our culture and identity. Next artwork is the Martyrdom of Rizal by Carlos Botong Francisco. This mural vividly portrays the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero, on December 30, 1896. At the center, Rizal stands tall and composed, moments before his death symbolizing courage, patriotism, and sacrifice. Surrounding scenes show different moments of that day: his walk to Bagong Bayan, his farewell to loved ones, and the preparation of the firing squad. The movement and color used by Francisco give life to the historical drama, making the moment both emotional and powerful. In summary, this artwork is a tribute to Rizal's bravery and a reminder of the cause of our freedom. It honors his role in awakening the Filipino spirit and inspiring the revolution against colonial rule. That is all, thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Brendan L. Orasa and today I'll be discussing an art analysis of two important works by national artist Cesar Legazpi, Morning Dance and The Beggars. These artworks, though very different in tone and emotion, both showcase Legazpi's signature style and his deep concern for the human conditions. Cesar Legazpi was a pioneer of modernist art in the Philippines and was known for his cubist and social realist style. He used abstract forms and often distorted fragments to highlight the struggles of everyday Filipinos, especially the working class and the poor. His art tells stories not just through imagery, but through feelings and symbolisms. Now, let's start with the morning dance. This piece is full of life and motion. We see figures in the dynamic flowing process, possibly stretching, greeting the day, or even dancing together. The warm colors, orange, reds, and yellows creates an organized and uplifting mood throughout the art piece. Now, Legazpi uses cubist fragmentation here, but specifically here it adds the rhythm and grace. It reflects hope, energy, and community, a celebration of daily life, and the strength found is unity. In contrast, The Beggars is somber and heavy. This painting shows slumped, crouched figures, possibly a family in poverty. Their forms are a bit twisted, and the colors are dull and muted. And the overall tone is one of despair. Here, Legazpi uses the same cubist technique but to highlight suffering and dehumanization. It's quite raw, and it's a raw commentary on social inequality, showing the emotional and physical toll of poverty. Well, though both paintings use cubism and their purpose and emotions are very different, Morning Dance is vibrant, optimistic, and fluid. It celebrates life. While The Beggars is still grim and broken, it exposes suffering. Now, this contrast shows Legazpi's range, not just in style, but in storytelling. One painting reflects what life should be, while the other shows what life is actually is, or what life is often is, for the marginalized. Now, in conclusion, Cesar Legazpi's Morning Dance and The Beggars may seem like opposites, but together they form a powerful portrait of humanity. One offers hope, one offers the truth, and both ask us to look deeper into the lives of others. Thank you for listening. That's it.